Hello again. We are going to go over the sentence fixer for day 2. I'm going to read it out loud just how it has it, and then we're going to go over each correction you need to make. "You will do great, Mom," said as Nate left for school. Nate was worried about his test. He practices, pre-read, and studied very hard the night before. Nate were ready for the test but was still fierce. Nate took the test and left Highland School on Friday afternoons with a smile and a 100%. So I'm super glad that Nate got a 100%, but this paragraph has quite a few mistakes we need to fix. So let's start with that first line. It says, "You will do great, Mom," said as Nate left. So anytime someone says anything and it specifically lists that they said something and who says it, we need to put quotation marks around what they said. And quotation marks are like 2 apostrophes before and after what they said. So you're going to put quotation marks before you, and then Nate said, "You will do great, Mom." And then after the word Mom, you're going to also put quotation marks. You is a capital Y, and then right after the quotation marks after Mom, we put a comma before said. So far we have, "You will do great, Mom," comma, said as Nate left for school. Said as Nate left for school. So that does not sound right. So we need to put said Nate as he left for school. Because anytime someone is saying something, you want to directly put said and then the person's name. You don't want to get too wordy in that area. After school, we need punctuation because that completes our thought, and we are not asking a question. We are not having a very exciting sentence, so we are going to use a period after school. Now, they used FOUR 4, and that is the number 4. So we need to change that 4 right before school to FOR, because that is not the number. Our next sentence would be, Nate was worried about his test. So Nate starts the sentence, but Nate is also a proper noun, so either way, Nate gets a capital N. Was worried. We don't use the word worried because it's not a word. We could say worries or worried or will worry, but worrieds is not a word. So we're going to drop that S off the end. Nate was worried about his test. Sounds much better. After the word test, we need to add another punctuation mark. Again, we're not asking a question. It's not an exciting sentence, so it just gets a period. Our next sentence is, he practices, pre-read, and studied very hard the night before. After the word before, we are going to add punctuation, but we'll get there in just a second. He needs a capital H because we are starting a new sentence. He practices, pre-read, and studied. So we have all different verb tenses there. And we're talking about something he did in the past. So all of these verb tenses need to be in the past. So instead of practices, we're going to put practiced. So instead of that S at the end of practices, we need to make that a D. Then we have pre-read, and it should be reread. So we're just marking out that P in the word pre-read, and we're changing it to reread. And studied very hard the night before. We also need to add 2 commas because there is a series of things that he's doing. So after the first thing he does, he practiced, comma, reread, comma, and studied very hard the night before. So very hard the night before sounds great, but the spelling is not so great on two of these words. Very, we all know that I and Y can be used in different words and has the same sound sometimes, but very does not end with an I, it ends with a Y. So make sure you mark out your I on very and you make it a Y. Very hard the night before. The night they used was like a knight in shining armor. And we're talking about nighttime. So that night is spelled N-I-G-H-T. So we have fixed all the spelling, we've added our commas, everything's in the same verb tense. So now we need to add a punctuation mark at the end of that sentence. Again, we're not asking a question, it's not an exciting sentence. So we are just going to add a period after the word before. Nate were ready for the test but was still fierce will be our next sentence. Again, Nate is a proper noun, but it is also starting our sentence, so it has to have a capital letter. Nate were ready for the test. That sounds a little odd. So we need to change were to Nate was ready for the test, but was still fierce. So fierce also doesn't sound like a word we normally use. Instead of fierce, we need to change fierce to fearful. We also need to add a comma in this sentence. Nate was ready for the test, comma, but was still fearful. And then we need punctuation at the end. It's not an exciting sentence. It's not asking a question. So again, we're going to add a period after the word fearful. Okay, Nate took the test and left Highland School on Friday afternoon with a smile and a 100%. So this is our last sentence. Nate, again, is a proper noun, but is also starting our sentence, so it needs a capital N. Nate took the test and left Highland School. Since Highland School is a specific school, the H and S are proper nouns, and they need to be capitalized. On Friday afternoons. Friday needs a capital letter because it's a day of the week. Afternoons. So we do not say, it doesn't sound right when we say, Nate took the test and left Highland School on Friday afternoons, because he's taking one test on one Friday, not all Friday afternoons. So instead of saying Friday afternoons, we're going to change it to Friday afternoon. So it's only one Friday that he's taking this test and leaving the school. So we're going to mark out the S in afternoons with a smile and a 100%. So finally, we need to add punctuation after 100%. We could do two different punctuations here. We will accept an exclamation point because it's exciting, he got a 100%, or just a period because it's a statement. Question mark does not work for this because it is not asking a specific question. So you can use an exclamation mark or a period at the very end. Once you've made all these corrections, you're going to rewrite the paragraph the correct way. As always, love and miss you guys. I hope you're having a great break.